Hello, welcome to the show, everyone. Once again, it's your host Sully, and I decided to once again uh, investigate many other multi-talents. Tonight's guest is Cherri Valentine, a graduate of the University of North Alabama. She has done it all, from social media marketing to voice acting to podcasting to project management. She has acquired so many skills and embraced all of them. Thank you for being on the show tonight.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. I've tried it all. Like I said, if the opportunity arises, I'm gonna take it and try to see what I can do with it. So
Yeah, for sure. Uh, well, one thing that is just very fascinating, and especially in your breakdown, is just how you've been able to do so many just certifications and just you kept challenging yourself. And you grew up, again, in an Alabama farm, and just kept embracing storytelling and various skills. Your grandparents were raising you, but you went above and beyond the Call of Duty in terms of just never settling for just one area of expertise. Now you're, a music manager of Moksha Entertainment, and but what was your main kind of approach into where you just decided, hey, I'm going to try so many digital outlets. I can manage music, I can do the Renaissance Fair, which is a nonprofit group. All of this is just very emotionally and socially rewarding. What were in a summary of how did you kind of get to these various steps? Do you think were they just one of many building blocks to where you're just like, I want to build on that and really
well,
make good on it?
my grandparents instilled in me, like, I guess you read my resume on the Moksha website.
Yes. Yeah.
So my grandparents always instilled in me, to learn more, and they gifted me an encyclopedia set, and that was the first part of it. And I read it from A to Z, cover to cover, because we were on the farm and I didn't have any kids in the neighborhood to talk to. So I was like, okay, well, knowledge is important. So that started all of it, I think. And then, I used to sell on eBay. So I always enjoyed, designing the websites on there. And we had a friend that would show us HTML to design our pages on there. So I started there, just learning it myself. He showed me how to hack a website, actually.
Oh
So
wow.
I hacked the website and would learn HTML from the ground up. Actually, we just print the whole website out and learn what each line did. So I did it all by myself. And then when I went to college and I told them, this is how I learned the the computer language, they were like, you don't even do it through like they do it now with the what do they call it? I'm trying to think. But they have the programs now where you can just place it. And I said, no, I was doing it code by code, actually, the whole thing, typing it out. So they said, now you know more than anybody else if something goes wrong, how to fix it.
Right. You're our backup gal as opposed
Yeah.
to just one of the bright leaders. And so you had a great upbringing. You just had so much passion into all the various things you were doing. Who were some of your other mentors that just said, more than just like knowledge is power? You can do so many life changing things. You can do so many entertainment industry endeavors. You can probably just try this out, and you'll adapt to it because you're just that kind of mindset.
Well, I grew up on the farm, and up the road, it's basically up the mountain from us, was Rick Hall. If you've ever heard the Muscle Shoals
Yeah.
sound, and Rick Hall
Fame
owns.
Studios. Yeah.
Yes. So I grew up listening to the music coming down the mountain. So music's always been a part of me. So that was another thing when I went to college. I wanted music because it's always been in my soul. So therefore, I took the entertainment business route. And because I did the HTML, I also wanted to do social media and website design and all that too. So everything just incorporated, and like, I'm the mindset that if I want to learn it, I'll do it. And just because I'm a girl doesn't mean doesn't mean that I, can't learn it, because I've had to deal with that my entire life too. Because, girls designing websites and doing things like that, I've had local guys. We had one guy, we were going to have our server there. And I went in and I said, I need the control panel because I designed it from the ground up. And of course, he said, that's too complicated for you.
Wow.
So immediately I said, well, you're not for me then. And I think my friend was there too, and he's like, you don't know her. So
Yeah.
all through my life, a little bit like that, I've had people go, that's too complicated. And it's like, wait a minute, you don't know me. So and my childhood hero, another thing that's kept me going with that mindset. And I know people are gonna think I'm crazy and stuff, but I've always liked Wonder Woman. So I said that as a child, when you're watching TV and you see a strong, powerful woman there, smart but kind, she's always kind to everyone, but she's strong and very smart. So she was always an inspiration to me, and she's an inspiration nowadays too. So I'm crazy, but occasionally I have Wonder Woman things. I have Wonder Woman across my computer right now. So she's always there to help remind me to stay strong. So that's what I do.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. So, what are some obstacle uh avoidance that you recommend for anyone who just overcoming just unfortunate just stuff in life and always having a troubleshooting mindset, you know?
Uh, Well, I have a podcast, as you know. So at the end of my podcast, I always say, don't spend your life living someone else's dream. Have the courage to live your own. So it's always just having the courage to just get out there and do it, and it, I interned on the set of a movie. It was a vampire movie. So, he was always needing like props. So he said, can you do props? And of course, with me, I was like, sure, I can. I know how to Google. I didn't tell him that, but I was like, sure, I can. So I went home that night. We Googled how to do props, and we made paper mache rocks and
Nice.
to do it right. I'm in the mindset sometimes, though, that I want to do it perfect. So I, I get aggravated at myself if I can't do it perfect the first time. So, but I still keep going until I finish it, because that's just me. And the same thing with the teaching. When COVID hit, I'm like, okay, what can I do now? I'm stuck at home, and a friend suggested, well, you have a college degree, you can teach. So I started taking these courses for teaching English as a second language. And then I started teaching to kids in China for those 2 years.
Very cool. Do you think you know, obviously it took a while for everyone to keep reminding each other that the internet and, various uh software can be used to better everyone's education experience. Did you find that just less people were kind of tempted to start teaching secondary languages and other stuff all from home over a computer, or were you just like at this point it's like, hey, what do I got to lose? It's just I have the skills. It's just a
I,
matter of talking on a
yeah,
screen and sending information.
Right. And believe me, I was terrified. I'm still terrified today, like with this interview, like, oh God, I'm not that interesting. Oh no. But I'm gonna talk about it. And like I said, when somebody said let's do the teaching, I'm like, okay, let's go for it. I'm sitting at home, I'm tired and bored. I want to do something, so let's go for it. And I was terrified the first few times I was teaching, but then it gets easier as you go. So, and I enjoy it. I enjoy the kids. It's kind of fun. So I told the both places that I work for, Moksha Entertainment and Eddie Barber Studios, I'm still going to teach a little bit because I do like the kids. So I rarely have time to rest. I have a lot of things going on. And in between both of the places that I work, I'm an artist. I draw and I paint, which I haven't had time to do here, but I do that too. So I have a lot of things going on. I'm also the kind of person that I can't sit still for too long. I have to do something. And if I'm not, don't have anything to do, I'm going to get on the internet because the internet is my friend and I'm going to try to learn something again. So just that kind of person.
Very nice. Um, and obviously learning various skills, you never know what you're in for, and it's tough to brace everyone and even determine who's got it in them to commit to learning versus uh they can learn it, but they just have to put away as many distractions as they can. How do you kind of often observe the room and just kind of determine which student definitely needs more attention?
Well, we usually do just like one student at a time, so it's a little easier in that direction.
Oh,
But as
nice.
far as what the right. So as far as what the student needs, though, I just, talk to them. That's the most fun part because you can just sit there and go, what do you like for the day? And you start learning how they speak if they're shy. And sometimes if they're shy, I have a bunny rabbit like right next to me right now. So I pick the bunny rabbit up and go, "Do you like rabbits?" And they'll like get all excited, and it helps them get a little more comfortable with learning. So
Yeah,
that's kind of fun.
I
And
saw you
that
were a rabbit owner. So from one rabbit owner to another,
ah,
isn't it wild how they are another kind of critter who is kind of very underestimated? It's like we just often think, hey, critter that jumps around and eats carrots is like they have so many different kind of specific diets. They can eat bananas and uh,
yes.
they don't necessarily even get along with other rabbits. So it's interesting seeing how when raising a rabbit, how you learn just so much about this creature that normally is not as straightforward as say with like dogs or cats. So um
Right.
would you
And
equate
in
that?
Alabama, sorry,
Sorry,
go
go ahead.
ahead. No, in Alabama, I had 5 dogs, a cat, and a turtle. So I'd never had a rabbit before. And then I came to LA, and all of a sudden, a friend of ours said, "There's a rabbit in the street." And he was going down the street just hopping, and cats were chasing him. And I was
Oh
like,
wow.
"Oh, it's the little, oh God." So we saved him, and he had already had an ear chewed off and his tail missing.
Oh
So I
dear.
was like, I can't put him back on the street, poor little guy. So now he's mascot of Eddie Barber Studios. So,
Nice.
and everybody, so, and like I said, he helps with the teaching. So that's always cool. And
For
they
sure.
are smart. They are very smart animals.
Yeah, very
Yes.
specific. So that's cool. You get to bring your pet to work every day basically.
Yeah.
And you gave him a cool home. So uh that's a good transition to Eddie Barber. So you know when
Yes.
you for those who don't know, again, Eddie is just another very talented industry professional. Uh,
Yes.
eh, Miss Valentine has worked with both him and Bobby Lee, and and they've again developed just so much music behind the scenes and videography, and uh, when you're just around these guys, these cool cats, so to speak. And obviously that's so much information to just have to soak up then and there, let alone on repeatedly. Just how did you just kind of get to the comfortable level where you're just like, hey, I'm fine working with these icons, and
Well, now, I did take entertainment business at the University of North Alabama. So I've been a little bit around, and I've been around Fame Recording Studios and that a lot. So to me, I'm not the kind of starstruck person that some people are when they see somebody. So I'm just like, you put your pants on just like I do, but you're pretty cool and you do some cool things. So that's interesting. Tell me about it. So Bobby Lee was the first one that I worked for, and he was a friend of mine, was a friend of his, and he contacted me and said, I see that you did a little music management. And so we just started talking, and he's like, wow, you can do, the website and do all that. And he said, let me teach you a little more about the music management. So he was just like a plethora of information, and he was such a great guy. And he's still a great guy. I still help him on his website, and I'm his assistant. So I do all that for him. And then all of a sudden, I'm networking on social media, and I have Eddie contact me, and he said, I need a web designer too.
We'll return after these messages.
Hello and welcome to Culture Shocked, the pop culture podcast brought to you by four aging millennials and our outdated opinions. Join us every Tuesday as we discuss movies, TV, games, and even music, new and old.
Dude, what do you think you're doing?
Are you seriously trying to record a promo without us right now?
Well, yeah?
Dude, you can't just do the promo by yourself. Who's gonna listen to that?
Yeah, and you probably haven't even told them that we're a pop culture podcast where we always agree on everything. For instance, the Sam Raimi trilogy, easily being the best of the Spider-Man movies.
No. But I think we can all agree that Jaws is a classical masterpiece.
Nope, don't like that. But we do all agree that the sequel trilogy of Star Wars is the best in the Skywalker saga, right, guys?
That comment is so ridiculous. I don't even know where to
Anyways, that'll do it from all of us here at Culture Shock. Thanks for listening.
Hey, it's Brent Pope, the host of Breakfast with Brent Pope. You've seen me on some of your favorite TV shows saying things like, give it up, Jimmy. You got to sink this putt to win. On Breakfast with Brent Pope, I sit down with guests from the entertainment world, and we do it all over breakfast. Or should I say Brentfast? Every week on Brentfast, you get inside Hollywood info and tips, great breakfast wrecks and booty debates. Most of all, you get the most delightful 30 minutes of your week. So dig in. It's Brentfast time. Listen at Brentfast.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever fine podcasts are found.
Do you ever find yourself thinking about who would win in a fight between Goku and Superman? Hi, I'm James Gavsey, and on the Who Would Win show, me and my co-host Ray ignore anything important happening in the outside world and debate fictional battles between characters from comics, movies, and video games.
We got a new show every week, and almost always am I the winner.
Yeah, not true, Ray.
In the past, we've discussed such matches as Captain America versus Darth Vader, Solid Snake versus the Iron Giant, classic matchups like RoboCop versus Terminator, and even the Muppets versus Sesame Street.
That one was crazy. So if you're a fan of geek culture and love a spirited debate, check out the Who Would Win show wherever you get your podcasts, or check us out at whowouldwinshow.com.
We let things pile up in the DVR, we add them to our queues, we wait for the DVDs and Blu-rays. We time shift. The Time Shifters Podcast. Sci-fi, horror, fantasy, superheroes, comedy, action, film, television, maybe some not-so-current events. Find us on iTunes or at timeshifterspodcast.com.
Cool thing about Blind Knowledge is we are in multiple countries. We are worldwide all across the globe. We are in the US, we are in the UK, we are in Canada, Germany, India, Japan. We're in Australia, y'all. BlindKnowledge.com. Now back to the feature presentation.
So I was like, do you want me to do it remotely like I did with Bobby? And he said, no, I kind of need you in LA. So here's the little girl that's kind of scared because she's been in Alabama her whole life, since I was 9 months old anyway, and lived on a farm. And he said, I'll fly you out to LA. And, I live in the studio. So he said, you get a free place to stay. And if you just come and be my assistant and do the website and do, a whole bunch of social media things for him. So I was like, okay, let's go for it.
Very
and
cool.
It was my first airplane ride. So there's a lot of first California trip. I haven't traveled that much in my life either. So getting on the airplane, holding my breath, going, I'm really doing this. But I did it, and I'm here, and I enjoy it. I get to see a lot of things. I get to see, Eddie had an event the other day where he was getting an award from the city. So we had a whole bunch of people here, and I'm like, wow, this is so cool. And we were talking about LA Undercover was filmed in the studio. So I was like, I walked by that door that says booking room every day and was wondering why it said booking room. And now I know because it was a set. So that's
nice.
Pretty cool. Yes.
Very cool.
And I still enjoy talking to Bobby and helping him with the music aspect too. I had when I was in Alabama, I was listening to groups for him, and there was a guy in Nashville, and he was so cool. And so I just said, Bobby, you got to listen to this guy. And, Bobby's like, okay, I'll listen. And I was like, you got to listen. You really got to listen. So I was one of those people that was bugging the crap out of him. Come on, Bobby, listen. So when he did listen to him, he was like, wow, little Alabama girl has a great ear. So he signed him, and his name is Apollo Ant, guys. So one of these days, Apollo Ant's going to be up there, I tell you, because he's a really great singer. So that's an interesting thing to do, is find talent too. So, Bobby has a whole bunch of talent. He's got, actors, voiceover artists, and musicians. So he's got a whole list of people, and it's really interesting learning about them too and helping to promote them. So
right.
And
you're like at the third stage of your career at this point, and now you've found even more mentors who happen to not only be your employers but also just people who you're trying to be now.
Right. Yes. So, and they're all, like I said, they're all great guys. They're all really sweet and helpful, and teach me, things, and are patient with me because I'm just a little Alabama girl that still has a southern accent here in LA. So. But hopefully, I'll get rid of that accent one day. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I'm very lucky that I met these two guys that are really awesome and really cool. And I think you have the information on both of them, the things they've done. Just listening to them is pretty awesome. Bobby did Social Distortion. He did The Offspring. So, and
pretty big deal.
He found 4 non-blondes just on the street. So that's pretty cool. And he worked with MTV. He's an actor and a movie producer too. So all those aspects of the entertainment industry, I get to learn about, which is really, really cool. And then Eddie, he's the opposite on the other end. He's done all the spin cams. He invented that.
Yeah.
And he invented the Steadicam.
Spin cam was a build on the Steadicam. Yeah.
So he's done all the he's been in film. He's been an actor in film, but he's just a genius as far as designing things. So just listening to him, and he helps me with the website because he's just that vision he has. So I can say, let's do this, and he'll be like, hey, put this little twist on it, and I'm like, wow, I never even thought of that. But he's just such a genius with that aspect. And he even wants to teach me, more about, Steadicam and the spin cam. And he's back there right now. He's listening. So he's and he's teaching me also the design software and stuff like that too. So that's pretty cool. So
Nice.
oh, yes, so that's pretty awesome. I got some pretty cool friends.
It's good to have friends like that.
Yeah. But see, you just got to get out there and network and talk to people. And like I said, I'm a little farm girl from Alabama who was shy. I didn't start talking to people really until I was in my 40s, pretty much. Don't tell anybody. But, I didn't start talking, and I was really shy. And when I did the film with Carlos Rosales, the La Madame movie, it was a vampire one, and I was helping him promote the film. So we went to this big event with a whole bunch of people, and he was going to talk about the movie to these people to promote it at their event. And I brought him to them, and I thought, okay, he's going to talk about it. Well, he knew I was really shy, and he said, I'm going to teach her a little something she needs to know. So he handed me the paper and said, you know just as much about it as I do. You tell them about it. And I'm sitting there going, oh, shit, sorry. But I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to do this. And he's like, yes, you will. So I had to swallow everything I had and just sit there and talk because I'm like, and I stuttered a little bit. But as I went along, it got easier, and I explained the whole movie, and the people let him, have his film shown at their event. So he's the one, I do credit him for getting me out there to talking to people and start learning how to do that. And that started all of this and started the social media talking to people. So I wouldn't have met Bobby, I wouldn't have met Eddie if it wasn't for Carlos. So
Nice.
yes.
What do you think is another key element when you're having to, again, promote stuff, be in front of a crowd, and pitch various ideas or sell a product? What are some main key ingredients that you think not even any college or business class can teach enough about?
Well, to be knowledgeable about what you're talking about, that's one major important thing. When you're talking to an artist and you're wanting to sign them, you have to, look up their stats. You have to look up everything, look up their numbers, as they say, to see how, would they be valuable to the company if we're going to sign them, stuff like that. And now some people won't have those stats, but you just have to have that feeling that they, maybe there's something that they don't know about social media, but they have that something that's going to make it. So there are exceptions, but still, there's things you got to be knowledgeable. You got to be able to talk to people. So even though you stumble and stutter, and I know I probably stumbled and stuttered through this some too, but you just gotta keep going. And I think the major part is just to be honest and true, and be kind. I think both people that I'm helping, Eddie and Bobby, I just try to be kind with everybody and help everybody as much as I can. So that's just something I was raised in from my grandparents. just to be kind to people. And of course, I guess loving animals helps that too.
For sure. I would think it would. Well, so that's very cool because so many people will just, if they hit a roadblock, they don't want to ever stumble past it ever again. And unfortunately, you are having to sometimes, speak in front of a group of people and see how their attention shifts and how to get their attention through many of the same everyday skills that, regardless of whether you're a master at it, you got to still embrace them. Are there any other kinds of so for anyone trying to get into the entertainment industry, just for those who just haven't been able to get a internship yet or find other kinds of opportunities, what are some shortcuts that you recommend personally based off the various places you've been?
Well, the major shortcut is to get on social media, get on all social media, get on as many groups as you can, talk to as many people and anybody that you can see that's in the entertainment industry, ask to be their friend. That's what I started out with. If I see that they're an actor or in the entertainment industry, I would click, and I'm up to 5,000 friends with about that many groups that I'm into. So that helps me, promote the artist, promote stuff. And it also helps me with Eddie with his spin cams too, because I have all these connections now. And it's not just like Facebook, it's TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, anything you can to get out there is to just, put yourself out there and don't be afraid. Just talk to people and, don't be starstruck if you're wanting to be in the entertainment industry. Just treat everybody like they're human beings because we all are, right?
Right.
Right. So that's what I said. Just, you put your pants on just like I put my pants on. And, so you did some cool things. Yay.
Right.
I'd like cool things myself one day. So that's, I just treat everybody like they're people. And don't be scared. Don't be scared to talk to people. And believe me, if I can do it, a little Alabama girl that lived on a farm, until she was 25, actually. So if I can do that, you can do it.
That
and
is
don't
cool.
be afraid. Don't be afraid to stumble and fall because I've stumbled and like I said, some people you're a girl, you can't do this. But I just, said, oh, really? Watch me. And that's if somebody says I can't do something, that just makes me more determined to show them that I can. So I'm going to do it. So it's like, okay, well, see, I did it. And as far as, myself, I found out during COVID that I had diabetes.
Oh, dear.
And I gained a whole lot of weight a little bit before, but a whole lot during COVID because I can't cook. I can tell everybody that I tried, but I can't cook that good. So I got really sick, had to go to the hospital. I didn't have COVID, but the diabetes, just eating the wrong things because I didn't know how to cook. So when I found out that, I found out how to eat. So I have lost over 100 pounds. And I said, I can't remember the name of the artist, but the song says, I'm still working on my masterpiece. Well, that's me. I'm doing it. Every day I work out and I try to eat the right things and get better. And so I'm still working myself, but I'm still out there and I'm not giving up. So, and look where I'm at right now. Little Alabama girl in LA. So. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool that you got the specialist to diagnose that and you didn't let, again, that stay in the way. lately everyone's been having all kinds of health scares. We've been having to finally have mature conversations about mental health. We've had to, again, like you say, go into, if you're not going to do this, fitness wise, then you got to eat better doing this. And much like drugs, they can be a vice. So, um,
And I've had people, come up to me. I've lost it so quickly, and they're like, did you have the surgery? I'm like, no, I was just determined to do it. So, I looked up, watch my carbs, watch what to eat. And at first it was hard because I was, again, a little scared, like, oh God, how can I do this? But then I found out, you can substitute something sweet for like apples or fruit. So for me, I like pomegranates. They're expensive fruit, but they are good fruit. And I had a pomegranate and a jackfruit today for breakfast. And, I don't need anything sweet. Those things are sweet enough for me. You just have to substitute one vice for something better. And that's what I do.
very cool. Very cool. Would you also, just for lack of a better word, what would you say is just the hardest part? Just implementing it into your day-to-day life, or is it more just finding, again, just uh, budgeting it, or
the eating, yes, the budget is because, of course, to eat healthy, it's always more expensive. But as far as a broke college student and all that stuff, too, I've been raised with that. I've learned, even though it is more expensive, there are certain things you can get that are cheaper, like the salads. So when I first started out, I lived on one large salad a day, and then fruit to supplement. And
oh wow.
So, but and then when you go out to eat, you have to really try to figure it out. So, if I want pizza, I go somewhere and just have the toppings. So instead of the bread, just put all the toppings in a bowl for me, because that's the best part of the pizza anyway to me. So it's called a low carb bowl. So I do that. And if we go somewhere else to eat, I can't have bread. I can't have rice. I can't have pasta.
You have to cut those carbs out. And
yeah.
Fortunately, many restaurants have adopted lettuce wraps. So would you say, are there any healthier food places that you recommend, or ones that, take it with a grain of salt, no pun intended? It's okay, but you can get something solid that would work for your diet?
Well, I'm just learning LA, so I really can't recommend too many places in LA, because I'm starting out in one little area and kind of spreading out as I go. And all my friends in LA that say they're going to take me and show me around have been busy. So I have just been able to walk in my little area. But, Subway has bowls and stuff that you can eat, so you don't have to do the bread.
Right.
And well, I don't know if there's a CC's Pizza here. I haven't found one. But when I went to CC's in Alabama, I just ordered the low carb bowls. So, and you can go to places like Burger King and just, instead of the bun, just tell them to put it on lettuce. That's what I do. And, ditch the fries, guys. No fries. But just do the burger with lettuce. And there's, you can have maybe cheese bites or something like that with it. It just, you have to, I think it's 75 carbs per meal. And then I would lower that as I went. So I don't even have to have that much now. And I haven't had to inject insulin either. So I'm
Oh wow.
I'm doing it so good that I don't have to do that. So I'm pretty proud of myself.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm working on my masterpiece. I've been through a lot, but I'm not giving up. As with my mindset and anything, I'm not going to give up with anything. So I'm just going to keep going.
So we covered some big ground here. What do you think others should utilize to just remind themselves to keep going? Because it's easy to get depressed or stressed out, regardless of who your mentor and lifestyle is. What do you think is another main component to just kind of
Well,
realize you're not in this alone?
right. Well, for me, it's, having faith and just knowing that, you're on this planet for a reason. You're here for a purpose. So, don't give up no matter what. I've always found, and I've been through a whole lot of bad things and, going through college, and I've actually worked at fast food restaurants before I was in college and not even knowing if I could go to college. But I didn't give up, and I made it. And not only did I make it with a degree, I went back for a master's degree. So, I just said, I'm going to keep doing it. And my first job was a account executive at a radio station. And it was fun, but you had to like walk the beat and talk to people, which helped me a little bit. But, this was talk radio, and it was really hard to get people to want to advertise on talk radio. So,
Right.
I think I made a whole $20 or $30 in 6 months. So I was like, oh no, this might not be for me, but I did get, experience. But then what did I do? I didn't give up. I went back to college. I said, okay, well, I can't do that. And I'm in Alabama. It's kind of hard to do entertainment there. So what do? I'm going to go back to college and concentrate on social media marketing, because I figured that's what I kind of need, because I'm in Alabama. And even though there's Fame Studios, there's a ton of kids that intern there. So it's kind of hard to get there.
Right.
So what do? I'm going to learn social media marketing. And that's what I did. And that's all. This thing just kind of blew up, trying to find people in the same mindset and in the same industry that I am. And I did it. And then what happened? I'm in LA now. And I'm not going to give up yet. I'm still going to network and market and, talk to people. And I've met some really cool people already. So I'm going to keep going.
The best is still happening and in play.
Yes. And I've got that purpose, and I don't know if I've still found it yet. So we're going to keep going, and who knows?
Well, thank you ever so much for dedicating an hour to this. So where can others find your services, let alone social media?
Yes. Well, I'm on Facebook under Cherri Fuller, my real name, Fuller. But you can also find me with Cherri Valentine. I think I have a like page. I haven't really had a chance to get started yet. But I'm also on Instagram on the official Cherri Valentine. And let's see, I'm on Twitter as I think it's ARENSUN. It's one of those weird ones. I had that in college, so. And then let's see, I have TikTok, and that's Cherri Valentine on that too. So you can find me pretty much. And of course, you can find me on mokshaentertainment.com. I'm on the Meet the Team page. I'm always helping them out. And I'm on SpinCam Pro, spincam.pro, Meet the Team page too. And if you guys are into the entertainment part as far as being an actor and a musician, check out Moksha. And if you're on the other end and need like camera specialties, Bandcamp's got you covered. I know they're really awesome.
Very neat.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you ever so much for your time.
All right. Thank you so
Inspire
much.
others. Stay safe out there.
All right.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening.
It's a Jack